Nation building is not the responsibility of the president alone. Nigerian governors are also very powerful constitutionally, and we cannot excuse their excesses while they are in office. Absolute power intoxicates in an absolute manner. Many governors in Nigeria would have modified the hands of time so that their 8 years maximum time in office could be extended. However, many Nigerians don't pay attention to the activities of their governors while outside office. We have 32 states in Nigeria, including the FCT. Of all the states, one state surely stands out, bordering over 10 other states: the confluence states, Kogi State. When you think of Kogi State, what comes to mind is the white lion. Do we have any lion in Kogi forest? Or the lion is from another country with lions in their numbers? Well, the white lion is a nickname of the former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello. Did you just whisper the all-powerful? Well, only the Almighty is powerful. Who is Yahaya Bello in the face of history? Yahaya Bello, the man with the appellation of GYB among the political class. He was, and still is, always in the news for the wrong reasons. If he was not being rude to politicians of older age, he was either being unruly and insolent to traditional rulers. If he was not being tainted with one form of financial scandal or the other, he was being entrapped in one mess or the other. Such is the character of the former governor. Yahaya Bello was born into the family of late Pa Alhaji Bemida Bello of Agasa Kompa and Okene local government area of Kogi State, with Haji Awawu Oziowu as his mother. Yahaya Bello was a former staff of the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission, a federal government agency where he worked up till before he resigned his employment and went to pursue other things. Yahaya Bello had post-secondary school education from 1996 through 1999 in the prestigious Ahmadu Bello University, Abu Zaria, Kaduna State, where he majored in accounting. Yahaya Bello served his mandatory one-year post-tertiary education National Youth Service Scheme at the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission. He was thereafter retained and offered an appointment as revenue officer too. After pursuing interest in transport business, Yahaya Bello ran one of the most prominent services in the country, especially operating from the Federal Capital Territory and the state of Kogi. His transport company, named Fair Plus, with fleet of highest commuter buses, enjoyed business patronage for considerable number of years. Yahaya Bello's company went into near extinction before ascendance as the numero uno of the confluence state, and finally the company went into extinct few months after he assumed office as the governor of the Great Conference State. How did White Lion gain political prominence in Kogi State? Yahaya Bello contested the All Progressives Congress (APC) gubernatorial primaries alongside the likes of late Abubakar Audu, who was the former governor of the state, under the All Nigeria People's Party (ANPP). Also, others that contested the gubernatorial primaries were Dr. Hamid Yakin. Also, the billionaire business mogul Sanusi Abubakar Gamji was not left out. Yahaya Bello came a distant second in the primaries. However, he felt aggrieved and decided to pitch his tent with the then Social Democratic Party. But as fate would have it, Abubakar Audu died suddenly while the results were yet to be announced. Rather than announce the winner of the elections, the powers that be at the presidential villa as at that time decided otherwise. They knew announcing Abubakar Audu's deputy as the winner would mean Honorable James Abiodun Faleke would inherit the votes. However, they smelt a threat at the presidential villa, a party chieftain from Lagos whose influence they need to stop from penetrating into the North Central. They needed to do everything possible to scuttle the process. The independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) would go on to declare inconclusive for the first time in history the election in Kogi State. The cabal in cahoots with the National Secretariat of the APC decided to give late Abubakar Audu's votes to the first runner-up at the Francis gubernatorial primaries, and guess who? Yahaya Bello. Yahaya Bello was eventually sworn in as the fourth democratically elected governor of the Kogi State, even when the process was characterized by a lot of shenanigans. Not long after, the then governor Yahaya Bello, on assumption of office, introduced what those with financial background would call the responsibility accounting. Civil servants in Kogi State had their salary structured in such a way that some of them at the end of the month ended up with nothing paid to them. Some were paid as low as 3,000 naira only. Also in Kogi State, some civil servants were paid 9,000 naira only, as the case may be. This signaled the very first controversy Governor Yahaya Bello had to face in his first term as governor. When it comes to leadership, even the devil himself has his disciples. No matter how bad a man is in character, he will definitely have those who will always praise him to high heavens. In the midst of obvious shenanigans and heists, there exist both leaders who see no evil and say no evil. Beyond the cosmetics of refined leadership is a man who has been described in many quarters as tyrannical and maleficent. Yahaya Bello's leadership style was described as akin to the infamous King Louis XIV of France in the face of history. For Kogi State, a state that is largely agrarian and populated by civil servants and teachers, life was indeed devastating, excruciating, and no less damaging during the tenure of Governor Yahaya Bello. Bello's government, within 1 year of coming on board, modulated Kogi State's salary structure, where senior civil servants received as low as 18,500 naira as their take-home pay for the month. How bad? Local government employees were the worst hit, as many of them many times went home with no salary credited to them, while some got a ridiculous 3,000 naira. Many of them could hardly afford basic food to survive, not to mention medics. Yahaya Bello's appointees have much to say about him, beyond the make-believe that pervades the social media space, whether terrestrial or social. Former Governor Yahaya Bello's personnel in the eyes of many of his appointees is not something to write home about. One may be tempted to argue that he was their benefactor after all. The fact remains that the said appointees provided services too, either for him or for the state. He wasn't doing them any favor by appointing them. Only recently, the deputy governor to the former Kogi State Oncho, Simon Achuba, led a forum called Kogi State Forum of Concerned Citizens to issue a press release on the financial recklessness of his former boss as the man in charge of the confluent state in the last dispensation. The former number 2 man to Yahaya Bello, who obviously could not have seen his boss better than many others, speaking through the forum on the embattled former governor's current case with the anti-graft agency, the EFCC, stated inter alia, the forum regrettably noted that the arrogance resistant to arrest put forward by the former governor of Kogi State, Alhaji Yahaya Bello, which tallies with posturing and crass behaviors, that he is above the law and can do and undo in all situations, believing that it can always buy everyone in Nigeria as long as his umbilical cord is connected to Kogi State Treasury. It is glaring the appointees may not have had smooth relationship with their benefactor, the former governor of the confluent state. Misappropriation of funds is a term normally deployed when we want to garnish corruption with a human face in Nigeria. However, corruption has no other name, and we cannot replace it with any salted word. It is an open and short fact that former Governor Yahaya Bello had been enmeshed in allegation of financial impropriety by the country's anti-graft agency, EFCC. There have been several talks in many quarters that former Governor Yahaya Bello's footprints in Kogi State in 8 years were not in any way commensurate with the resources at his disposal. Many said despite the humongous funds available to the state, the White Lion still left the state in decrepit and sorry situation. He has been accused of running the affairs of Kogi State as his personal fiefdom. Hence, the drama that has characterized the cat and rat race between him, the former governor, and the anti-graft agency since handing over to his successor, Ahmed Usman Ododo. His political son and successor, Ahmed Usman Ododo, claimed no money of the state was missing. The EFCC had established a list of infractions committed by former Governor Yahaya Bello while in office. Some of the infractions include, but not limited to, the following: alleged 80 billion naira money laundering in February 2016, alleged acquisition of 60 million naira property in Wuse Zone 4 Abuja in October 2016, alleged acquisition of 310 million naira property in Wuse Zone 4 Abuja in October 2017, alleged acquisition of 100 million naira property in Guzape, Abuja in 2018, alleged acquisition of 412 million naira property in Wuse, Abuja in 2020, alleged acquisition of 66 million naira property in Aminu Kano Crescent, Wuse 2, Abuja in February 2020, alleged acquisition of 84 million naira property in Wuse Zone 4, Abuja, March 2021, alleged acquisition of 100 million naira property in Abuja, March 2021, alleged laundering of 3 billion naira between July 2021 and April 2022, alleged transfer of $570,000 to domiciliary accounts in the Bank, United States, to mention but a few of the alleged corruptions EFCC levied against the former governor Yahaya Bello. The last few weeks have been filled with something akin to Nollywood script between former governor Yahaya Bello and the EFCC. The hide-and-seek game scene between Yahaya Bello, the White Lion, and his hitherto refusal to honor the former's invitation to come and answer for some allegations. Instead, Yahaya Bello has used the instrumentality of law to continually frustrate every attempt to honor the EFCC's invitation. The last is yet to be seen of the ensuing drama, which has made a caricature of the country's judicial and anti-corruption system. In its bid to get the former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, to respond to its invitation and the subsequent refusal of the latter, including obstruction of his arrest recently by his security aides, the EFCC has declared the White Lion wanted, with full publication of his name and image across the length and breadth of the country. The EFCC had also secured the support of the Nigerian Immigration Service to help prevent the escape of Yahaya Bello through any of the country's land borders and at the airports. You see, former Governor Yahaya Bello may have been an example of not too young to run in the clamor for youth inclusivity in the Nigeria's political trajectory. However, Yahaya Bello has proven himself a bad representative of the youth demographic in the heart of governance. Yahaya Bello is indeed a bad example for others to emulate.